So my name's Rudy Barker. I'm work in network operations in Western Power. My role is to look after all of the systems that run the network. So the distribution transmission networks are both run and managed by network operations, and my job is to keep those systems running, make sure that they're being used in the most optimal way, and to help the business get the information it needs to operate those systems most effectively. So in 2017, we moved from a control centre in East Perth, which was where we'd been based for about 30 years. That was a very ageing building, very old infrastructure. It was had a lot of problems, and we had a choice. We either had to spend a lot of money completely rebuilding that complex, or we could move here to head office. We decided to move to head office, brand new from scratch, state-of-the-art control room. As part of that build, we decided to put video walls in. The point of that was to try and increase the situational awareness of the controllers by putting big screens in around the control room and also outside the control room around the business. We hope to increase the awareness of everyone who worked in network operations and in Western Power, provide them more information about what was happening with the network at any point in time. So they could see how many faults we had, how many lines were out, how much planned work we were doing, how long it was taking us to respond to calls, what the weather looked like, all sorts of information. The idea was to put all of that up on the video walls in a way that we could customise it at a moment's notice. So we have a number of different configurations that we can use. Some of those might be for when we have visitors and we want to show them a very pretty looking wall. We've got more technical walls that we could use if we've got particular situations on the network. Walls for when we have a storm and we want to see more information relevant to a storm moving through affecting the network, and a range of other ones. So the video wall has given us the ability to collect and provide that information to the controllers and the whole of Western Power. So currently in network operations, we've got video screens in the control room. We've got a 7x2 wall and a 3x2 wall. And most of that is used mostly operationally by the controllers in the room. In our kitchen, we've got 3 screens, which we have a rotating set of displays showing a range of information that's relevant for us in network operations. And the next step in our journey will be to put live update screens on the video screens throughout the business. So as you walk around Western Power's head office, at the entrance to the lifts, and when you walk into each floor, you'll see screens showing information about Western Power and what we're doing and initiatives that are going on. We plan to put information from our video walls on those screens as well. So everyone in Western Power can see what's going on with actually the core of what Western Power's business is, which is providing network to everyone in the state, in the southwest of the state, and keeping lights on. So it's quite a big project for us in network operations to put in the video walls. We engaged external contractors to come in and build the infrastructure, which was the set of screens and all of the supporting hardware and software. But the real challenge for us was getting the various displays built. So we decided that Pi and Pi Vision was the best choice for us to put those displays up on the walls. And then we identified a number of key displays that we wanted built. I think there was about 30 in the beginning, showing a whole range of different types of information in lots of different ways. And we basically worked with contractors and also to train up our own internal staff to build those displays. Each one we'd build it, we were very agile at the time, so it wasn't waterfall. We didn't sit there and draw a picture and design it to the nth degree. We very much went with the feel of it, and we had very good contractors to help us do that. So we could give them an idea of what we wanted, they'd prototype it, we'd have a look, and then we'd refine it until we arrived at something which matched what we wanted. That worked very well. We had about 30 at the beginning, which we rotated through the various displays. We now have, I would estimate, around 60. We're probably doubled that number, and we're probably on average adding at least one display a week at the moment. So our head of function, Shane Duray, is very excited about these displays, and he is building more and more and more to show the information that he's interested in different ways. So key to the success of the process was a particular consultant, Andrew McDonald. Andrew was very good to work with, very responsive, and he's a very good listener. So he heard our requirements, which came from a range of sources. So Shane would give his ideas, I would give mine, the control room would adapt that, maybe change it a little bit. He would produce something that worked well for everyone. But his ability to listen, adapt, change, and build an ideal display with those disparate ideas and do it quickly and responsively was key to our success. His knowledge of the product is second to none. He knows exactly how to get the best out of the product, what the limitations are, where we can push it and where we really are restricted by limitations was excellent and allowed us to really get the most from the product. So the world is changing for distribution and transmission utilities. The whole design of the network has changed. So power is now being generated at the end user. So power, solar cells on the roofs of houses is pushing electricity back through the network, through the distribution system and back into transmission, which it wasn't designed to cope with at all. That fundamental shift in the whole paradigm of what we do with our systems has created a whole set of challenges that we've never had to face before. Coping with those challenges, managing them tactically in the short term and strategically in the long term requires us to understand what's actually going on in a holistic way, from the very top where the electricity is generated all the way down to the households who are using that power at the end. Having a system that can allow us to produce a visualization of that data, which is useful operationally for us, is critical to how we move forward. Without that information, without that visualization, we're not going to be able to make the best decisions, and we won't be able to keep the system stable as it continues to change. The changes are happening faster, sooner, and more seriously than we forecast. So we have to move more quickly than we expected we would, and having a system that can very, very quickly produce the information we need and a display and visualization of that data in the right way is critical. The time frames are so short. If we tried to do things traditionally, where we designed a solution and then built it and then tested it and then put it into production over weeks or even months, it would not be fast enough. We really have to embrace the agile approach that we're using and the expertise of people like Andrew to help us get to where we want to go. So the partner we've chosen to work with is Optimate here for a number of reasons. They're in Perth, which is great. They're also able to work very closely with us in the right way, which is very helpful. They've got the right people in the right place to work with us. We've developed a very strong relationship with Optimate and Andrew in particular over the last year or so. And we can see a lot of work still being required for the next foreseeable future, and intend to keep that relationship going. It's working very well for us.